This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right, I've got 6 o'clock on my end. And I think we have a quorum, so I think we are good to go. Shall we get started?
Yes. Sure. Are you recording?
I am recording, but I think
Perfect.
it'd be good. Should we have a second? Do you want to also record it just in case?
I will try, yeah.
I don't know what might happen, but
Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome to school committee. Cindy Kwasinski, our chair, is not able to attend tonight. So as the secretary, I'm stepping into big shoes and running the meeting for her. And with that, we will call the meeting to order. Let's see, Shannon
Dunham here.
Lori
Garcia here.
Mayor LaChapelle. You unmute.
Mayor LaChapelle here.
Aaron
Goldstein here.
Ben Hersey here.
And Megan Harvey here. All right, so we will get started with correspondence in our announcements section. So I will turn it over to the secretary, and then you can imagine me putting my secretary hat back on to report our correspondence. There's not much for us to report this week. We received a follow-up email from Catherine Adams after the meeting last week, expressing continued concern about the curriculum related to SEL and white privilege, and asking for information on exactly what content would be included, and asking for updated links on the website. We also, during this section, want to just acknowledge on behalf of our chair, Cindy, and the members of the school committee, the tragic passing of Owen Zaret's father this past week, and just send our condolences to the Zaret family. We are thinking of you. I'm very sorry to hear that. And that's all we have for correspondence this week. So we will move right along to gifts. I am not aware of any gifts to discuss. None, okay. So we will move right along to our student rep update. Do we have our student rep? There you are, hi.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Easthampton High students are currently working to form a chess club. Their first meeting is October 28th. Many students are currently fundraising for their class, student council, and GSA. Lastly, some student council members are participating in a leadership training program at Middleborough High on the 29th. And that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Thank you for that update, short and sweet, and chess club sounds fun. All right, so we will move along to our next section of the agenda, which is public comment. So I will open up the floor to public comment, and I will remind us that our standard is that we please unmute yourself once you're acknowledged. You can speak for about 3 minutes. Please have a name of some sort. So if your login information is something like iPhone, you'll have to make sure you tell us who you are. And I am looking to see if we have any community members who would like to speak. You can raise your hand. We'll give it a minute to see if anyone trickles in and decides that they would like to join in. I don't see anybody. If I miss any hands, let me know, but I think it would be fairly obvious with the size group. Okay, that it has passed on my timer here, so we'll go ahead and close public speak for tonight, and we will move along to our next item on the agenda, which is our superintendent update.
Okay, thank you. I don't have a presentation tonight, but I do want to give thanks and recognize some educators and staff in the Easthampton Public Schools for some great things that have been going on. I'll start with Cindy Mojica, who was here a few weeks ago to share with all of you that there were some events coming up for Hispanic Heritage Month. And so those events were held, I think, about a week and a half ago at this point. And so I'd like to publicly recognize Mrs. Mojica for putting on those events. She did several events. There was a movie night, there was a fiesta and art show, there was a Hispanic Heritage in the U.S. event, and there was, I think I'm missing one more. Let's see. There were several events, and I just want to recognize her for all the events because they were above and beyond her normal job. And so it was a really nice way to celebrate Hispanic heritage for not only students, because some events were held during the school day, but other events were held right after school, and some were in the evening. Oh, there was also a public speaker event with recognizing Hispanic leaders in our community. And so all the events were really nicely done. They were open to staff, to students, to the community, to families. So I just want to publicly recognize and thank Mrs. Mojica for putting on those events for the high school and everyone associated with the high school. At the Mountain View School, I would like to recognize one of our ELL teachers, Maureen Fineff, because her and her students in grades 6 through 8 celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month by creating a unique production that they called Pride in One's Heritage. They had 3 parts to the celebration. They researched Hispanics who contributed to society and created a book display and a Google slideshow in the library. They created a culture corner to display items from their homes that are unique to their country. And they hosted a flavorful day in which the students and their families prepared dishes to share with Mountain View staff and teachers for lunch, which was accompanied by live music by Noah Blayfield, who was also at our event on Saturday. And there was lots of positive feedback from the ELL families and from our staff as well. So I'd like to recognize teacher Maureen Fineff for her contributions to Hispanic Heritage Month. And finally, it goes without saying, I'd really like to recognize Jean Libby for everything that she did in the past several months to prepare for the Mountain View School community open house that we just had this past weekend. Jean has been our family engagement coordinator, as everyone knows. She's been working on this event since the summer, and she had a wonderful committee that supported her, a lot of volunteers. And on the actual day, she had a lot of staff and administration that volunteered their time. So my thanks to all of them. It was a wonderful event, and Jean really went above and beyond with the entertainment. She really found something for everyone, the shows for the kids, the PTO contributions, the vendors that were there. Thank you also to the mayor and city council for supporting this event and providing the funding to make this event really unique and kind of show everyone in the community what a great school we have. So those are my thanks and kudos and recognitions that I just wanted to pass along and share with the community. So that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
That's great. It was such a good event. We had perfect weather and it was busy the entire time. It was great. So thank you to Jean Libby and everyone who participated.
Let's make that a yearly event.
I love that idea.
I think we need Jean's permission for that.
She's not here. I think she said it was fine. So, okay. So we will move on to our next item on the agenda, our school committee reports and discussions and reports out from the subcommittee. Do we have anything from finance subcommittee?
No, we are working on finalizing a date. I put one out there and it isn't going to work for me anymore, so we'll have to just figure out a date. We do also have a joint committee coming up on November 9th that will be happening in a joint committee meeting with the City Council Finance Subcommittee and ourselves as well. So that'll also be posted shortly.
Great. Thank you. Any other subcommittee updates?
I'm still working on getting everything put together for a meeting for the policy subcommittee. And I will be in touch with everyone.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, Lori.
Okay.
I'd like to thank everyone who helped and participated in our 7th walk, bike, and roll event. The weather actually cooperated. I'd like to thank Dave Hayes, the weather nut, for giving me the green light. He said we could do it, and we could. So it was very well attended, and Jean helped with it, and Scott Kavanaugh, and Jeff Bagg, and I'm truly appreciative. And once again, I'd like to publicly thank Tandem for supplying wonderful bagels and cream cheese. And I would just like to mention that Julie Ann did call a focus group to a meeting last week, and we had a small group start, but I just wanted to mention it because Julie Ann would like to be on next month's agenda so she can make a presentation as Cindy had requested.
All right, that sounds great. I shall pass that information along to the chair.
Thank you, Secretary and Acting Chair.
You are welcome. Any other subcommittee updates? All right, that brings us, we are moving very rapidly through our agenda tonight. This must be a little gift from the chair for me in her absence. So we are on other. Does anyone have any other? I'll jump in with the other to say that I'm keeping tabs on the PTO. They're doing so many great things. They just finished up the fall bulbs fundraiser. They're transitioning into, I think it's a citrus sale. They were at the Mountain View open house, which was great. And they were giving away, I think, donuts and cider. It was delicious. I just stood at that table for a while and ate those. There's so much great food there. Like it was such a great event. And I think they have their next upcoming event is a family movie night, and information is starting to go out about that. They're always looking for volunteers. And of course, they hope you will attend and come watch the movie. That's all I got from PTO. Any other? Okay, well, we'll move right along into some school committee action items. And I guess I should actually check, Allison, you'll be my Sue Colby check. Am I, as acting chair, also making these motions, or should I turn it over to somebody else to make these motions?
I think you can make the motions,
Okay.
but if it's a lot to navigate, you can, I'm sure there's a volunteer in the group.
That's fine. I'll read the motions and make the motions. I'll look for someone to second, and then I'll go through our roll call. Okay. So first, I would like to make a motion to establish a capital reserve account for CES.
And can I explain that?
Please do.
Before we get a second. Okay.
Yes.
And Ben is, I think, part of the board over at CES, so he may want to jump in. But the Collaborative for Educational Services in Northampton is looking to establish a capital reserve fund. They've never had one before. And according to their bylaws, as a member of the Collaborative, as a member district, they need to get 2/3 of the communities that belong to the Collaborative to vote, have their school committees vote positively for this. So there would be no cost associated to the Easthampton school district or the Easthampton community for them to do this. One example that they referred to was during the pandemic when they received some of the kind of the PPE kind of loan funding for to pay some salaries. Now they have some additional money and they'd like to put it into a reserve fund so that they can do repairs on their building or, capital expenses that come up out of the blue that you don't necessarily have funding set aside for. So that's what they would like to do, is establish a fund for the funding that they occasionally have left over or as the result of some initiative that they've taken part in, and they're looking to establish a way to hold on to those funds and use them for capital expenses. So they would be looking for a yes vote from the Easthampton School Committee.
Any questions or discussion?
I second the motion.
Can I just clarify? So not every district, but 2/3 of the districts are hopefully voting yes to create this, and then the funding would come to and from.
If it comes from the collaborative's own funding,
right?
Yeah, it would not be a cost associated or put on us.
More like a storage.
Yes.
Okay.
We're supporting the concept.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we had a second. Any further discussion? All right, let's go through and vote. Lori
Garcia, aye.
Shannon
Dunham, aye.
Mayor LaChapelle. Oh, you're muted. Still.
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren
Goldstein, aye.
Ben
Hersey, aye.
and Megan Harvey, aye. All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the school payroll dated 10/20/2022 in the amount of $577,359.07.
Second that motion.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, Lori
Garcia, aye.
Shannon
Dunham, aye.
Mayor LaChapelle,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren
Goldstein, aye.
Ben
Hersey, aye.
and Megan Harvey, aye. And lastly, I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated 10/20/2022 in the amount of $321,728.23.
Make the second bet.
Do we have any discussion? All right, Lori
Garcia, aye.
Shannon
Dunham, aye.
Mayor LaChapelle. Muted. Oh,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren Goldstein, aye.
Hersey, aye.
and Megan Harvey, aye. Those were our school committee action items. So zipping right along to our out-of-state field trip request. Any information for us before we make a motion and second it?
So this is a senior class trip. They go to High Meadows in Connecticut every single year. That's one of their senior things. They do like outdoor activities. So you've approved this every year for many, many years.
Sounds fun.
I'll second that.
Okay, I think we need a motion first.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion for the High Meadows field trip.
Perfect.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, Lori
Garcia, aye.
Shannon
Dunham, aye.
Mayor LaChapelle,
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Maren
Goldstein, aye.
Ben
Hersey, aye.
and Megan Harvey, aye. We could not be moving faster through this. Is this a record? Did we create a new world record for school.
It might be you. Maybe we need to tell Cindy how fast we went.
Okay, either tell her and she'll be proud, or don't tell her. I don't know which one we should go with. So we'll wrap up with our next meeting dates. We talked last time about continuing on with our November 8th date and also December 13th. So 2 upcoming meetings. Information will be posted soon about this joint finance subcommittee meeting. I think that's probably all we have on the radar. And so with that, we can say goodnight and adjourn. And we will roll call out, starting with Lori.
So you made the motion to adjourn?
I did not. Thank you, Lori. See, I knew somewhere sometime. Okay.
It's okay. You were doing so great. You just made a motion to adjourn, and I'll
second it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So now we'll roll call out. Lori.
Lori Garcia, buenas noches.
Shannon.
Shannon Dunham.
Mayor LaChapelle.
Mayor LaChapelle, aye.
Aaron.
Aaron Goldstein, aye.
Ben.
Ben Hersey, aye.
And Megan Harvey. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you for all the support. I
Nice job,
appreciate
Megan.
Good night.
it. All right.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.